Once upon a time, there were two brothers who apparently had nothing better to do than to read stories on the internet, and thus, the adventure duo was born. Let's see what adventures our heroes get into today.
So, man, what are we doing today?
Well, I figured it is the first week of Halloween, so we're going to do like a couple horror stories. The first one I want to do is called Project Lovecraft by Margaret Dobbs, because I love H.p. Lovecraft. The universe, not the elitist, racist author. His work is great.
Gotta specify.
Yeah, him personally, not so good.
It's like, have you ever seen Hitler's paintings?
I mean, they might be good. I don't know. So the player rating's kind of low on this one. I don't care. Story difficulty, it's a 1. Good, because we some dummies. And the player length is 3 out of 8. Maturity is 3 out of 8. But to read this, it says, hello, this game is part of an English lit project from their class this year. The structure of this is based off the H.p. Lovecraft short story called Dagon. You can either play through the story as is, which will be marked with asterisks, or you can go off onto one of the new paths they have created. Have you ever read Dagon?
That sounds really familiar, but no, I can't remember it.
Well, H.p. Lovecraft is like really big on like cosmic horrors. So like the big thing he had was creating a universe that's got gods that are like well beyond us and like we don't understand. So canon isn't really like a used word in there because a lot of people pick random shit to like add to it and everyone's like, yeah, sure, we believe that. That's fine.
It's just kind of like created as you go.
Yeah, kind of. So if you have the Shadow of Innsmouth, they have like fish people. That's like the people, that's the thing people know from H.p. Lovecraft, that and Cthulhu. And the fish people are known as the deep ones. And Dagon is either a really old deep one that's like the best of them, or it's like another name for Cthulhu maybe, or it's like one of their smaller gods kind of.
So it's like a lesser god?
Kind of. It's really vague. Like I said, canon's not super prevalent. Which I fucking hate with my autism. Like any movie or story where it's like, it's up to your interpretation. I'm like, no.
You tell me what to say. You tell me what to think.
You tell me what to think. But like, for some reason, H.p. Lovecraft stuff, I really like the vagueness of it and the craziness. Sure. So, well, you can go ahead and start since you already said the words first.
God have mercy. You are a World War I officer who has been captured by a German sea raider. What do you do? Try to escape? Sit quiet and hope for the best. Well, I mean, it's a nice German, sea raider. But yeah. I guess, obviously, we're going to try to escape, right?
Yeah, that's what they do in the story. I don't want to stick with the story super strictly, but yeah, I would escape. So try to escape. Congratulations. After only 5 days of trying, you were able to escape the German officers. I've never done anything for 5 days.
Yeah, I would have gave up a lot sooner. I would have been like, bro, it's not happening.
Half a day in, I'd be like, call it. In fact, you were able to take water and provisions with you, enough to last a couple of weeks. Damn, we were pretty good. However, you have no clue where you are. Your navigation skills are subpar. Damn. And there is no shoreline in sight. The sun is furiously hot, and the days drag on endlessly. What is next? Get some sleep or jump in the water to cool off.
Well, I mean, that second option sounds pretty nice.
All right, jump in the water to cool off.
Much better. You can guess fairly that the Germans have taken you somewhere south of the equator. The refreshing ocean water is a welcome relief. You lie on your back for some time, then dive beneath the surface where the water is somewhat colder. Opening your eyes, you can make out a shape in the distance. Maybe only 5 to 10 feet down, but quite some distance off. What could it be? You swim for some time, invigorated by the cool waters, until you climb back into your small boat. The sun is almost down and you lay thinking while you snack on your stolen food and fresh water. Could the thing in the distance aid in your rescue? Or is it dangerous? What's your plan?
First off, you're already like in the water and you can still see like 5 to 10 feet down. Like water gets dark quick out there, my man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially like in the ocean and shit.
Yeah. So what are your options?
Says, what do I have to lose? I'll swim toward it in the morning? Or it's too risky. I won't go near it.
For the listeners, we've already veered off course of what Dagon does, so fingers crossed. Fuck it, it's an adventure. What else do we have to lose? Yeah, we're fucking adrift. Let's go swim towards it, see what it is. The sun rises and you eat some more provisions for your breakfast. As soon as your food is settled, you tie a length of rope to one end of the boat and jump into the water again. Okay, so you didn't say that before, and that fucking gave me anxiety. Swimming with the other end of the rope in your hand. In your hand, wrap it around your fucking waist. You locate the shape again and begin heading toward it. It takes much longer than you expected and exhausts you considerably. But you reach the mysterious object and climb back into the boat to rest and recharge. Once you feel up to it, you jump back into the water and peer down at the shape. As you look down, you realize that what you had seen from a distance doesn't compare to the thing before you now. Perhaps you had only seen one of its stony tendrils. Ugh. It appears to be a statue, spherical, covered in algae and debris, or as they say in Britain, debris.
the breasts.
With many winding offshoots curling up through the waters. For a few minutes, you simply swim around the great figure, curious of its origin. As you approach the backside of it, however, the statue begins to shift, opening one enormous eye and gazing directly at you. Oh, a feeling of dread shocks your body cold. You don't even register that one of the stone tendrils has shot toward you and wrapped itself around your foot until it's much too late. The thing pulls you down, down, down. All right, so options are hold your breath and pray, try to pry your foot free.
Seeing as I'm not religious, fuck that, I'm gonna try to pry my foot free.
All right.
In a panic, you reach down and begin to claw at the stone tendril. The thing is strong, but it seems to be made of polished marble and is quite slick. With some effort, you are able to slip your foot loose from its grasp and kick to the surface. Thankfully, it seems to have given up after only one attempt. You're safe.
Or are you?
Da-da-da. I guess we getting back to the boat.
That's the only option. Wonderful decision. Night falls, and after the excitement of the day, you sleep easily, comforted by the gentle movement of the ocean. However, your rest is haunted by troublesome dreams. See, that's always the thing with H.P. Lovecraft. Everyone goes fucking crazy in his stories. When you awake, you are out of your boat and surrounded by a hellscape of black slime and rot. Ugh. You landed in Thailand. You are half sunk into the mire, and your little boat is some distance away at the shore. What has happened? What is this place? The air around you is thick with the scent of decaying flesh and putrid fish. The mire is a waste of marine life carcasses, some which you can identify and some which you cannot. In all directions leading off from the shore, that black slime coats the landscape, stretching endlessly into the distance. The vastness and the strangeness of the place nauseates you. Most pressing of your issues, however, is your current position, stuck in the muddy tar like rot. What do you do next? Oh God, what's that one horse that dies in Never-Ending Story with Atreyu?
Atreyu, yeah. Atreyu!
Atreyu is the kid's name. What's the horse's name?
That's true. That's true.
Let me give it a quick Google search. Horse Never-Ending Story. It's like Artemis or something. Artax.
Artax?
Yeah. Some stupid-ass fucking made-up sci-fi name.
I was about to say I would have never pulled that up. Artax.
No. I knew it was like R something. So options are crawl towards the boat or crawl towards the water.
If I'm going towards the water, I want to have a boat, so I guess we're going to the boat.
All right.
As you drag your body through the filth, you begin to theorize about exactly where you are. You decide that this must be a chunk of the seafloor, where the bodies of living things which were not eaten upon its death have accumulated for millions of years. Damn. Perhaps the chunk of land has been cast to the surface due to some unprecedented volcanic activity. If that's the case, then you are still far away from the real land and far from any real help. You reach the boat and stay there for several hours, reflecting and thinking. Meanwhile, some time in the hot sun has dried out the slimy mire enough to be traversable. Darkness begins to fall as you eat and drink for the first time that day. What do you do next?
I return the hearts of Tafiti.
Get some rest and explore the newly dried land in the morning? Or push off back into the water? This place is clearly useless to your survival.
Well, we already tried going for the boat, and that didn't really do anything, it said. It just kind of
circled us back around.
Yeah. So, I mean, fuck it. Let's get some rest and explore the newly dried land in the morning. Ba-doop. Morning comes, and though you didn't sleep well, you rise and pack some provisions for your exploration of the wasteland. After a bit more time, the ground is very easily walkable. The smell of rotting fish is still quite bad, but you learn to bear it as you travel. In the distance, there is a tall hummock which you decide to head toward. By day 4, you have just reached the base of the hill and decide to make camp and stay there overnight. Now that you're closer, it's much taller than you anticipated, and the harsh sun makes it difficult to keep your energy, even on flat land. You lay down to sleep, exhausted, and your dreams that night are wild and terrible. Oh my gosh, it's zombie sex dreams all over again. You awake in the moonlight. What do you do next? Get up and walk, sleep again, and leave in the morning. You're just going to keep sleeping.
I was about to say, just sleep this away.
Yeah.
Nah, well, I guess we're going to get up and walk, right? You woke up, you might as well get the fuck up.
Yeah. So we're apparently back on track with the story.
Without the glare of the sun, walking has become much easier. You pick up your pack and decide to head up the tall hummock. But what the fuck is a hummock?
I don't know.
I was about to say that earlier. I was like, we're just going to gloss over the fact that I know neither one of us know what the fuck a hummock is.
You don't know me.
Yeah. To head up the tall hummock by the light of the moon. The journey up is much less taxing than it would have been by daylight, and as you crest the summit of the hill, you see that there is a steep drop-off just past the edge. Baloo the bear! Below you there is an impossibly deep canyon, which was still pitch black in the night.
What did you do to a bear?
Yeah, Baloo a bear.
Jeez. Oh, a hummock is a hump or ridge in an ice field.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's just forested ground rising above a marsh.
Huh.
The more you know.
Knowing's half the battle.
The other half is violence.
Da-da-da. You stay there until the bright moon is high enough in the sky to illuminate the rest of the canyon. Below you there's a small rock ledge which may be able to afford you some decent footholds. What do you do? Climb down into the canyon? Or turn around and walk back down the hill?
Yeah, we're going to climb down that canyon.
Well, you ain't going backwards. What the fuck?
Yeah. I feel like even if we went backwards, it would just keep circling us around. The steps
Sure.
down are steep, but everything levels out once you hit the bottom. On the opposite slope of the black waters, you see a gleaming stone monolith, which seems to have been man-made. The object frightens you, but still you continue to study it for a time, able to make out the shape of inscriptions on its base. The shapes of fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, molluscus, I don't know what that word is, whales, and other likely extinct species, as well as a strange sort of hieroglyphic language.
You don't know what a mollusk is?
No, I don't know what a mollusk is.
It's like a oyster and shit.
Oh, okay. Around this monolith are also bas reliefs of several scenes depicting grotesque humanoid marine creatures, the sight of which nearly stuns your heart and makes you sick to the stomach. I just think of like grabbing your chest and like, oh my Lanta!
Oh my Lanta!
Goodness gracious. One of these scenes, as far as you could tell, shows one of the creatures killing a whale that seems to be only a little smaller than itself. Quite suddenly, you hear the churning of waters near you. How do you react? Stay out of the way and watch. Run. Get closer to the waters.
I'm definitely in the mentality of stay out of the way and watch.
All right, I guess we'll continue the story.
Alright, a sudden numb wooziness fills your mind as the huge being slides up from the waters. The sensation is what you imagine the last few seconds of life feel like after someone has been injected with lethal drugs, or the feel of panic to such a point that it overtakes your nervous system.
Not that we know what drugs are like.
Yeah, drugs are bad.
Okay.
The creature is larger than any living thing you could have ever conceived of. It darts from the waters to the monolith, wrapping its arms, which seem to be covered by fish scales, around it and letting out many piercing, shrieking howls. As it does, you can feel your mind twist itself around, stamping out all certainty you held that you understood the world around you. You understood now why people of religion make up the staff of asylums. Okay, that just...
Do they?
Yeah, I'm about to say, that sentence didn't make sense for a second. In a daze, you find your way out of the canyon and back to the boat. You recall singing as you went and laughing when you could not sing. You think inarticulately that a great storm is hitting, or may hit, or has hit, but you do little to acknowledge it. You push back off into the waters and drift aimlessly until you find yourself awake in the San Francisco hospital, rescued at last. You are soon discharged. You find your way home. You feel different. How do you cope with your experiences? Do you try to find experts who can help you? Seek mental help, which is kind of the same thing? Gather more supplies and go back to the wasteland island.
All right, well, the original story, he just wakes back up in San Francisco and becomes a morphine addict, and he like tries to get help, but like just something crazy shit comes for him at the end. I say fuck that. I say we gather more supplies and go back to the wasteland island.
Do it.
Send. You spend a couple of days getting together some food, fresh water, navigation equipment, and your collected research and decide what you will steal a boat from the port in the night. You set sail for roughly where you believe your coordinates to have been, traveling for several days by following your compass. Even with all of your preparation, though, the experience is not much more comfortable, both mentally and physically. You can't tell if the confusion-driven anxiety or the hot afternoon sun is making you sweat more, but you decide a plunge in the cool waters would do you good. As you open your eyes in the water, the shock of seeing something below you makes your heart stutter. It's the shape from your dreams. You recognize it at once, that this is what has been haunting you, making sleep fitful. It appears to be a statue, spherical, covered in algae and debris, with many winding offshoots curling up through the waters. For a few minutes, you simply swim around the great figure, curious of its origin. As you approach the backside of it, however, the statue begins to shift, opening one enormous eye and gazing directly at you. A feeling of dread shocks your body cold. You don't even register that one of the stone tendrils has shot toward you and wrapped itself around your foot until it's much too late.
Oh,
Jesus.
You got me again.
This fucking hentai will not leave me alone. The thing pulls you down, down, down. Hold your breath and pray, or try to pry your feet. Oh, you said you don't pray, so I guess we're prying feet again, huh?
I feel like we're just gonna die if we fucking... Yeah, let's see you hold your breath and pray. Fuck it.
Okay.
You feel the water growing colder around you as you descend. The increasing pressure on your skull, compounded by the lack of oxygen, causes you to pass out quickly, mercifully. When you wake up, you feel groggy. It takes you a moment to register that you are no longer in the water, and a bit longer to register that you are, in fact, quite dry. Your scenery has changed drastically, as what was once an impossibly large expanse of water has turned into an impossibly large expanse of desert. Understandably, you are confused, but you still try getting to your feet. You appear to be on a rarely used road just outside of a small town, and with a quick look around, you can see that this is the only civilization for a while. The sun is beginning to set, and the moon is bright and beautiful. A small distance away, near the side of the road, a sign reads in large, rusty letters, "Welcome to Night Vale. What do you do next?"
Ooh, Night Vale, huh?
Yeah, that sounds not creepy. Walk down the road away from the town, or walk towards the town and ask for help.
Well, we're both pretty white passing. I think we'll be okay if we just walk straight into this town.
Hell yeah.
As you walk down the road, you feel as though you are being judged. Ah, damn it, we're not white in this story. The place is increasingly strange to you. There are tall, bright lights, nothing like you had ever seen in your time, and the buildings look futuristic to you. However, none of this even covers the overall eeriness of the town. Some of the buildings have altars outside. Others display strange posters for menacing government agencies, or the ban of wheat and wheat byproducts. A little ways away, a man is walking towards one of the buildings. He is dressed professionally, but you are unsure of how much trust you are willing to put in him. Nevertheless, you approach him and explain your situation. "Fascinating," says the man. "We're very familiar with desert otherworlds, but we've never been the desert otherworld. What a treat!" I don't know why I gave him that voice, but I did. The man further explains that his name is Cecil. That's why I gave him that voice. And that the current year is 1999. He has to be lying, right? The year when you left was 1919, and you can't have been out for that long. "Time works differently in Night Vale," Cecil says. "Or at least, that's what the scientists say. But I could be wrong. Time isn't exactly a science." "Say, why don't you go down the road a bit and talk to one? I know a great scientist who lives just past the Museum of Forbidden Technology." He's got some crazy theories about time. You feel increasingly desperate and confused. The man's voice is trustworthy.
Yeah, for sure.
But makes you feel panicky. Yeah, I bet. You decide to act as though you are taking his advice and walk in that direction he has pointed out. And as soon as you are out of sight, you begin sprinting. Well, which way are we sprinting? Are we running down the road out of town, or we run down the road further into town?
I say we keep going into town, just get away from that weirdo.
Yeah. How old were you in 1999?
12.
Oh, so I was 13. Damn, we're old.
The night air gives you a rush of adrenaline. You run, and run, and run.
I was running.
I just started running. At last, you seem to be trapped in by smooth, high obsidian walls with barbed wire, curling all over the edges, and signs all around which read, "Dog Park, do not enter." You continue to work your way down the length of walls, which seem to stretch on forever, until you hit a gate. Consumed by terror, you grasp at the edge of the gate, shaking it and screaming for help. Without warning, the gate gives way, and you fall to the ground just inside the dog park. Several hooded figures loom over you. The sound of static fills your ears as you try to get to your feet again, but it's too late. The figures drag you inside.
No, Daddy, no!
At the center of the park sits the monolith. It is tall and has carved engravings in the stone which depict groups of people wearing bloody crowns and speaking to many-eyed creatures. The hooded figures gather around it, and you feel your skin being torn apart excruciatingly as you are sacrificed to their god. Game over.
So we don't know which god it is. The story begins.
I guess it just starts us over.
Oh, so that's one death. We got 2 more deaths. All right, so we'll back up. Let's run out of town?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, fuck him. Further down the road, you see a tall brown stone spire rising up into the air. Something about the spire calls to you. You feel as though if you gave it enough, it would fix all your worries, like a god or a devil. Or Kyle. If he just gets that job at the factory, I know we could turn our life around. He'll stop fucking hitting me. We'll get out of this trailer. We'll move into my mom's trailer. Oh, that's getting a little too close to home. I'm going to move on to hurt my own feelings here. An offering, you think? You need an offering. What do you give? Look around for something? Give it your hand. Oh.
I think I'm going to look around for something before I fucking just give up my hand.
I don't know, man. I've always wanted to be known as like 4-finger Freddy, but I don't want to be one-handed Freddy. That sounds stupid. That's a horrible nickname.
But then I could be like Edward Scissorhands.
Well, we're one step closer to being a pirate if we lose the hand. Wait, whose choice is it?
When you read, it's usually my choice.
All right, what do you want to do?
I'm going to try to look around for something.
Okay, we're keeping the hands, baby.
There isn't much you can give aside from the clothes on your back. You scrounge around in the desert sand and come up with a few colorful rocks to place at the brownstone spire for consideration.
What are you, a penguin?
Yeah. For all your searching, you haven't come up with much, but you still feel the spire reach into your mind and plant a thought. It says to you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's never good. As you lay down on the sand, you pray earnestly to the spire that all of this has been a bad dream. As you sleep, you hear whispers of dogs howling, barking, and clawing at what sounds like a metal gate. You wake in the dead of night, cold in the desert as the sun has long disappeared. You don't understand. What does it want you to do?
Let my people go.
Offer more or go back toward the town? I guess offer more. I guess we have to give up the fucking hand.
Using a sharp stone, you disconnect your hand from your body and lay it at the base of the spire. It feels as though the spire is speaking directly into your mind, reading your thoughts. You just want it to be over, you think. You would give anything for peace, comprehension, and rest. The brownstone spire complies. You feel a twinge in your spine. Small, but noticeable. Oh, God, that's what I deal with every day. I'm sick of back pain. Being old sucks. A numbness flows through your body, and you collapse onto the ground. You look up at the stars, and mysterious lights pass overhead as your breathing slows. This isn't what you wanted. You feel your eyelids grow heavy, and try as you do to fight it, you can't keep them open. Game over. That's exactly what happened to me at sleepaway camp. It's terrible.
So you cut your fucking hand off. It's like, oh yeah, there's blood in there.
That's supposed to be in my body. Do you want to finish the Dagon the way the story is supposed to be finished?
We could do that.
All right, so we're going to go back to where we're in San Francisco. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to try to find experts who can help us. No one believes the things you say. You attempt to find information from an ethnologist? I don't know what that is.
A study of ethnicities?
A person who studies different societies and cultures. Anyways, you attempt to find information from an ethnologist who gives you stories of the Philistine fish god called Dagon, thinking it to be the closest approximation to your creature, but with no luck. In the night, you see visions or perhaps true sights of the dread creature which had shown itself to you and gone to worship at the monolith. You feel desperate. You feel insane. This will be your last reach for peace, your last reach for solid life. What is there to do?
Well, option A is definitely take morphine.
Or find an asylum. But this is the 1920s. Neither one of those are going to be good.
Let's say not like find a fucking hobby, you know? Play with some Legos or something. Calm down.
Were there Legos in the 1920s?
I want to say there was, right?
I don't know. I mean, you can always eat checkers.
Was it always just Lincoln Logs and shit?
I don't even know how old the Lincoln Logs are.
Huh.
You want to take morphine, finish it the Dagon way, or find an asylum?
I guess we're doing the morphine, bro. It's a party over here. At first, the morphine floods your veins. I was going to go into description. Nice. The morphine floods your veins with a warm feeling. When it hits your brain, the tension goes out of your muscles and you feel your heart settle for the first time in weeks. These effects are temporary, though, and soon enough you find yourself a hopeless addict. The visions of the thing have returned. They come on in full strength when the moon is gibbous and waning and steal your mind with fancies of hellish figures which swarm the floor of the deep sea, worshipping their disgusting gods and crying their ancient songs. No one listens to you still, especially as an addict, and so you have resigned yourself to only be heard by the pages which you write down your account of the experience in. As you put away your writings, you think upon the life that you could have lived, ignorant, peaceful, unalone. Tonight you plan to take your own life. Take the next step.
Oh, jeez Louise. So that's the end. That's how Dagon ends.
That's just sad.
Just for funsies. I want to see. Oh, if we go to the asylum, we die anyways.
He's going to get that morphine eventually.
All right, yeah, so either way, you're shit out of luck, which is how it ends with most people with the H.P. Lovecraft lore. So, yeah, there you go. Unhappiness and drugs and a suicide attempt.
Drugs are bad.
Don't do any of those, kids, especially the unhappiness. So, yeah, that sucked. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to end well with like it being an H.P. Lovecraft thing, but great story. The story did suck. Just dying sucks. Just thank you to the author. That's pretty good.
It was pretty good. There should be at least one fucking thing you can.
And thus ends today's journey. Tune in next time. Goodbye.